Three, two, one. We're recording.
Blast off.
I'm Gary Peter Carlson with John of Light, and this is video number 14. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to cover today, but we'll find out what comes up.
We'll kind of do an update on a few things. How are you doing tonight, Gary?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling okay.
I go by John of the Light on YouTube, and Gary and I have started having discussions around what we consider our sacred and important topics for humanity. And we've been trying in every video, maybe not all of them, but we're trying in every video to alert humanity through these videos on the internet of many things, including Gary's research, that is to say we're exposing a non-human element that has infiltrated humanity and is controlling our planet and running the world today. Do you want to speak to that?
Yes. How I see it is these people that are in our government, in our corporations, and a lot more. They have human bodies and human DNA, and they're just like us in those respects. If they need medical or nutrients or whatever that may be, they're the same as us. They just have a different soul. Now, in one of our videos, somebody put a comment in, I think it was on the Rumble channel, that something else reptilians, and he was showing people could do weird demonic things, and he was inferring that they had some kind of different kind of body or different body features or something. But I don't think that's the case. They got the same. If you're talking the Illuminati, which some people refer to them by that, they have the same bodies as us. It's just that their soul is different, and that's all. There's nothing else is different. Now, supposedly they can shapeshift, and that's only if they have a draconian soul. There's also lizard souls, snake souls, and dragon souls, depending on which part of the world the reptilians are ruling whatever country.
Not to mention...
Yeah, in the Far East it's dragons, in the Middle East it's snakes, and in the smaller countries and Central Northern Asia, parts of South America and Africa have lizards. And in the Western countries that are ruled by draconians, there's a few lizards in there too. Go ahead, John, you're dying to say something.
No, I wanted to make sure that, anybody listening understands that you just named off 4 types of reptilian races who have infiltrated humanity by putting their souls into human bodies. And you've explained many, many times that process and how it works. I don't think we need to cover that in this video. But what I wanted to clarify is that there's also many other types of souls. Right. Other than humanity's souls, human souls in human bodies. Is that correct?
Right. Michael Jackson's family has gray souls. And I heard that Melania Trump's wife, if I said her name right, she has a reptilian soul that's different than those four kinds. And there's also, I heard some people have a spider soul. So anyway, on the side of beings that don't have empathy, there's reptilians, insects, and spiders, and they can become people on other planets. And on the side that has empathy, there's mammals, birds, and vegetables. Vegetables being extremely rare. Usually they have an ammonia atmosphere, which gives them a lot of protection for somebody coming along to take them over.
So if people don't quite, if they're new to you and they don't understand you, I'm trying to understand how, to think of how best to put all this in context for a new viewer who's watching you for the first time. I guess what I could say in your introduction is that Gary Carlson has a website, icheckyoursoul.com. It's probably the best place to go if you're interested in learning more about these kinds of topics. And to put it in context, what we're talking about is that we're not alone in the universe. We're not the only race in town, so to speak. There's probably 1,000 races of ETs, what we call ETs, extraterrestrials, in the third density, which is what we are in today in our solar system. There's probably 1,000 different races of ETs that live, sorry? Nearby that live in and around our solar system, right? And what Gary has been trying to figure out, and other people have done the same to their credit as well, Gary's trying to figure out, why is Earth feel like it's been taken over? Our planet, for so long has been taken over by what many people refer to as a cabal, the bloodline families. Many people refer to this group as evil or satanic, or there's some type of the Illuminati. There's so many different ways that people describe this sort of group, and people have often tried to figure out, who are these people who have taken over the planet, who seem to own everything and run everything and control everyone? And they run the central banks, and they took over nations by taking over their money supply. Gary, to put it in context, agrees with a lot of those other researchers that our planet has been taken over. It has been occupied. We are completely under the control of a very small minority. But what you've figured out, Gary, is that there's something different that no one else has figured out. Gary has discovered through his spiritual and soul research that these people do not have human souls. Do you want to pick up from here?
Yeah, just as I've been saying already, they got human bodies the same as us, but they got a soul from their group or their reptilian bodies group, and they put the soul in human bodies. There's two ways they can get souls in human bodies. The first way is they grow a clone of a human, and then they capture a soul kill one of their people. Usually I guess it's likely it would be an egg. One of their people would lay an egg that would become a potential reptilian, and they can smash the egg and capture the soul with magnetic confinement. and then release that soul into the clone. Now, I don't know the exact technology of that, but they can do it.
High-level ET technology in the third density.
Right. The Draconians have this technology. They've taught it to us humans, I believe. They got it in Black Ops. Humans are doing it. And these other three reptilian groups don't have this technology. They get all their souls put in human bodies by the Draconians. So there's just one. The Draconians are the ones that do the cloning and taught it to the humans. And then,
so you were saying the first way is through cloning,
right,
and then the second way.
the second way is to have a human female that already has a reptilian soul, and she has children, and then the children always get a soul from the same group that the mother's soul is in. So if a female human has a reptilian soul, she just has to have children. It doesn't matter who the father is. The children will have reptilian souls.
So let me make a comment on this. Viewers watching right now are, a lot of them are ufologists. They believe in other types of beings and other races of beings, other types of races in our universe. They understand, what we call ETs, extraterrestrials. They believe in that. Okay. So I guess your research, if you want to put it this way, is very similar already to what a lot of people believe. A lot of people who are in the research community, they believe in aliens and ETs, extraterrestrials. You're simply making you're taking it a step further, that not only are these races of ETs here now and they've been here for thousands of years, but some of these darker races who have your negative, you might call them negative, or we often call it evil. What you've called it is that they have no empathy for others. So some of these races that have been here for thousands of years and have no empathy for humanity, they simply took their presence a step further. They wanted to actually integrate with Earth, integrate with humanity, and in a stealth way, an invisible way, they wanted to infiltrate humanity through ET technology.
Right, right. Instead of putting reptilians on the ground with weapons and telling humans, go here, do this, and all that, they knew if they did that other positive ETs would come and start a war with them, and they would have a shooting war, and that wouldn't come out very good for them. I mean, the war would probably never be over. Even if they won the first battle, the other people would come back and sneak attack them and whatever. I mean, they could never keep their people on the ground and keep control of everything, probably. Okay, so
Yeah.
so that, and then the second part, I could elaborate further. Every living thing must have a soul to be alive. I'm positive that that's a true fact of God's creation. Every living thing, biological living thing, has to have a soul to be alive. You take away the soul and the living thing dies. You can put another soul in and revive it back to life, possibly. So when they grow a clone, the clone is not alive until a soul is added. And I don't know if you can look up and find that out, but
Sure.
that's how that works.
Well,
And
this is important. It's important for people to understand that, you know, if you're a believer in ETs and aliens and UFOs and you're a ufologist and you know that we're not alone, well, it's not a big leap to understand that some of these evil races that have no empathy for humanity for thousands and thousands of years have wanted to take over humanity. They wanted to control humanity for power and what else? Mostly for reasons of power and greed and
yeah, they want to own and control everything, and all their
and
members want to make money that they've created. I guess so they can buy things and bribe people and all that, and they want everybody doing what they say, and they got that
sure.
feeling of
So
power, I guess.
So is it true that maybe many thousands of years ago, they actually did have boots on the ground? They landed their ships on Earth, and at some point they were kicked off.
Well, yeah, they probably had boots on the ground, and they communicated with humanity, but they probably didn't take over. They just had people there, and some people
Yeah.
talked with them and stuff. And they decided that they wanted to take over. They do
In,
the same plan all over the reptilians do the same plan all over the universe. They find a planet where the people are intelligent and they're coming up into where they're going to have high technology. Like the people are smart enough to develop space travel. So they move in. So they move in a little bit before the people have figured out space travel, and then they grow clones of the people that live there. And it's really easy for them to get souls of themselves because they all lay eggs to reproduce, and each egg has a soul, so they can just smash the egg and capture the soul with magnetic confinement. I hear that's simple to do or whatever, or I don't know about simple to do, but it's
it's their
very
technology.
doable.
Right.
Put it that way. Now releasing that soul into the clone, I don't know how easy or hard that is. Now the soul must want to go in the clone. That has to be the case in order for that to work too. If the soul doesn't want to incarnate in the clone, then it won't.
Right. So
And
thousands of years ago, they started this process, right?
probably
Instead of
millions of years ago,
could
and different reptilian races taught it to other reptilian races.
okay. But on Earth, in the current sort of paradigm we're living in today, they started this thousands of years ago.
I said I'm told I get my information dowsing, and I ask my spirit guides questions, and they ask higher spirits different things that they don't know, and they tell me the answers through dowsing. And they claim that these reptilians started putting people in with reptilian souls about 6,000 years ago. And supposedly they had a bunch of people in, and then they guide these people into positions of power. Like in the olden days, kings, queens, and high priests. They created these positions, you know. And originally in humanity, they might have not had kings, queens, and high priests. So the reptilians put these people in with reptilian souls, and they invent these positions. and put somebody with a reptilian soul in that position, and they get to rule over everybody else or control everybody else in some way.
Right. So people who are watching this are obviously going to be skeptical, right? They're going to have a million questions. And I'm sure you take questions. If people have questions, they can contact you, correct?
They can, yeah, anybody can send me an email and, for questions, and if I get a lot of questions, we can just make another video and talk about all these questions.
Where should people email you?
Love that if people emailed me questions.
And where should people send you an email?
Well, if you open my website, icheckyoursoul.com, the email is right in the middle of the page 3 times, I think, on the home page. The email is loveand s2o@hotmail.com. So it's LOVEAND S2O. Make sure you don't put a 0. You got to put an O at hotmail.com.
Stands for service.
Yeah, you'll be able to copy paste
others.
it. If you open my website, you'll have opportunity to copy and paste it. It's on the home page several times.
Right. So go to Gary's website. If you have questions, you can email Gary at love and S2, the number 2, O, the letter O, at hotmail.com.
Yeah. Yeah, just open my website and copy and paste my email address.
Well, one question that I'm sure people are struggling with is, how this all started. You just said that 6,000 or many thousands of years ago, they decided to infiltrate humanity as opposed to invade openly physically with ships and armies and advanced weaponry. They decided to do it differently. Why do it this way? Is it just obvious? Why infiltrate humanity through this stealth way as opposed to just taking over humanity? If they've got the technology and the strength and the weaponry and the manpower, why not just take us over?
Because they'd have to fight other ETs over it,
Okay.
So why would on the surface with weapons and telling everybody where to go and what to do? Other ETs would come down and sneak attack them, and the obvious blast them from outer space.
Right. All right. So the obvious follow-up question
to get them or whatever, but when they do it covertly, now they got people down there that they're disguised as us, and they have no idea that these are the enemy. They look like just other humans.
Right. So an obvious question then is, why wouldn't the good ETs who would have attacked them if they openly invaded, why wouldn't the good ETs come down and try to protect us and defend us now? They probably have ways of identifying these non-human entities.
Yeah, the main way you can identify them is to look at their aura, to look at the being's aura. A being that has empathy like us has a colorful aura, and a being that doesn't have empathy has a dull gray aura from what I get.
Why wouldn't they come down?
Maybe they. Well, first of all, the people in reptilian souls have refused any open ET contact on the surface. I mean, they fire at their ships and claim that aliens don't exist. They want to tell everybody there's no proof of anybody from other planets. They want to keep saying that and talk everybody into believing that.
Yeah.
And then they have shot down alien ships many times and tried to reverse engineer their technology. They've been doing that since the 1920s or 1930s. The famous one is the Roswell crash in 47, but they had crashes before that. And there's people that are on these teams of when they capture these crafts that crash land or whatever, and they, if the thing's small enough, they load it on a truck and take it to a military base and put it inside some secret building or something like that and try to reverse engineer it.
Oh, I know.
And sometimes there's living beings on the crash too, and they hold them and try to get information from them or whatever.
Sure. I guess the question is, wasn't there like some, what, I don't even know what the right word is. Wasn't there some sort of galactic sort of law that says these ETs can't interfere with humanity? Wasn't there something like that?
Probably, but I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's probably galactic laws, and they're breaking them for sure. They're a negative. I develop a scale to rate how evil a group is, and the scale goes from 0 to 100, or from one to 100, and if the group doesn't have empathy, the higher the number, the more negative it is. And if the group has empathy, then the higher the number, the more positive them is. In both cases, 12 would be neutral. Mm-hmm. So if the group doesn't have empathy, a number below 12 would be positive. And if a group has empathy, a number below 12 would be negative. So if I rate these, I rated several groups here with this no empathy scale. The draconians come out. This is, I get the answer through dowsing. You know, I ask my guides what the group's rated at. And the draconians come out 98, which is extremely evil, almost as evil as you can be. The lizards come out 56. The snakes come out 68. And the dragons come out 67. And the ant people that helped the Hopi during the floods and all that, they're rated as 6. So since they're below 12, they're a positive group. And then I had other groups with empathy rated. This is you can look at this on my Who's in Power page in the beginning of the page. I got humanity is rated 79. The tall whites are rated 5, so they're a negative group below 12. They're on the ground somewhere around Area 51 or something like that. There's some book, a guy wrote several books about a millennial hospitality or something like that. And then you got the Palladians, rated 69. Now the Palladians is a big place with all kinds of groups. I get sometimes that it's got 16 solar systems and 23 groups or something like that there. But the main group that comes here a lot in spaceships supposedly is rated 69. And then you got the Andromedans, are rated as 80. Venetians rated 76. And a Martian group rated 71.
You mind if I ask you a couple of quick questions? So let's go back to what we were talking about. A lot of people think that there's this rule of non-interference. So clearly the reptilians, the multiple races of reptilians, the Greys, many other races have interfered. Is there anyone protecting us from their interference, or is humanity on its own to defend itself?
As far as I know, we're on our own defending ourselves. I mean, if there's anybody trying to help us or protect us, it's in secret. It's not, I mean, it ain't on the news, or it ain't told to everybody. There might be a few people with contact with this Galactic Federation or whatever it is.
So billions of
You'll
people.
hear of Galactic Federation. I think that's a positive group. And then you'll also hear of this Galactic Federation of Light. And that's a negative group.
The Council of Worlds.
There's a Council of Worlds, and there's Andromeda Council. And I think those might exist, and they're positive.
Okay.
The only negative one is that Galactic Federation of Light. If you hear that one, it's negative.
Sure. So there's a big percentage of humanity that's being guided right now. Like a lot of people have guides. I'm not sure what you call them. I don't know if they're guardian angels, just guides from beings from higher densities, maybe, or both. I guess that is a type of way that we're being helped and aided by other races and higher density beings, right? We're being guided.
Yeah, we're tremendously being helped by the people in higher densities. I mean, if you want to take it real far, if you go high enough up the power chain, there's 24 power levels all the way up to God, to the central God, and somewhere up at some level up there, our reality is created. And if they don't want something to happen, they won't create that reality. I mean, if somebody wants to kill somebody else, and the reality of that person killing the other person is not created, then that person doesn't get killed. I mean, you can take it as simple as that if you want. So, I mean, anybody can't just do whatever they want. There's somebody above that's
Sure.
actually in control of what happens.
Right. So our planet is humanity is being guided individually. Humans, individual souls or spirits are being individually guided. But what's not happening, as far as we know, there's not a race or 2 or 3 or 10 coming down to fight our battle for us against the reptilian invaders who have infiltrated humanity in a stealth way by putting their souls into human bodies and then replicating. So no other race is really coming to our defense, so to speak.
Right. I mean, they could grow human clones and put their souls in and try to fight the reptilians. I guess they could do that, but that would be kind of I mean, when you put your soul in the other people's body, and then you put that person into their society, you're kind of deceiving everybody when you're doing that. You know, and that's what the reptilians are doing.
So the reptilians are deceiving all of humanity by essentially pretending to be human, right? They look like us. They're disguised as us.
We're at the 35-minute mark. If you want to quit.
Actually, let me ask you a tough question.
Okay.
So a viewer who's watching this video is probably trying to figure out, so what the hell do we do? Like, what does God want us to do? What do the higher density beings that are in control of our planet, right? They're kind of in control of what happens on Earth. They're in control of our solar system. Things just don't happen by accident, right? There's no coincidences. They're in control of humanity. What do they want from humanity? Do they want us to try to figure this out on our own and fight this battle and try to reclaim control of our planet? What do they want?
I think optimally, they want us to expose these people as they're reptilians in human bodies. And we can expose them by checking their aura. And you can tell other people what's going on. And if everybody got to know what's happening, and you could prove it with checking the aura, we could take these people out of power. Now, on the second note, if we're going to have this planetary ascension, but I don't know how good that's going to help us because
right.
The people that are over 75% done with their cycle, they're going to get promoted to fourth density. And the people that are less than that are going to get shipped off to another planet. Hopefully, they won't ship the reptilians with us. I think we got to get these reptilians out of power before that happens. Okay, here's how it supposedly is. The people that have souls without empathy. Hey, let's end the video here.